Hey everybody, this is Sam Rohn here in New York City talking about panoramic photography. I've lived in New York my entire life. I've been working as a photographer for approximately 20 years. I started working as a location scout, various television series including Law and Order, moving on to television commercials, still photography, feature films and the like, and I became enamored with 360-degree photography along the way, which is my main interest at this point. I'm shooting with a Nikon, today I'm shooting with a Nikon D800, Nodal Ninja R1 panoramic tripod head, Gitzo tripod, and a $20 eBay remote. I'm a self-taught photographer. Everything I know about photography I pretty much picked up on the job location scouting or reading various articles, manuals, but mostly through practice and experience. Panoramic photography isn't really something that you could study anywhere other than online. So I've been working with this type of photography for many years, going back to late 1990s. And basically, you know, you have to stay on top of the various forums and websites where the latest developments are, you know, discussed and debated. And experience, lots of shooting, various situations, different light, nighttime, daytime, indoors, outdoors, winter, summer, spring, fall. Lots of experience is how you learn to be a good photographer. Anybody can learn to operate a camera, but having a good eye is something that needs to be developed. The best tutorials online for learning about panoramic photography, there's a series of tutorials on YouTube by Florian Norn from Ireland, which are very thorough and complete. I recommend to anybody. Otherwise, most of the basics of panoramic photography are basic photography. You know, nothing special that you need to learn to get a good exposure and proper focus, depth of field, etc., etc. For stitching panoramas, most people use either PT GUI, which has an excellent series of tutorials on their site, and the Autopano Giga and Autopano Pro from Color software in France also has very, very thorough documentation and excellent tutorials, excellent support. Highly recommend all of the above products. For presenting panoramas online, people who build their own websites will probably use either KR Pano or Pano 2 VR. Both KR Pano and Pano 2 VR have forums which provide full documentation and support for their products. There are also services like Roundme, 360 Cities, and a couple of others, Google Street View, which allow you to upload your panoramas so you don't need to actually learn any authoring programs or buy any authoring programs yourself. What's in my camera bag? Typically, when I go out on a panoramic photography shoot, I bring my tripod, my panoramic photography head, my camera and lens, and in my bag I would also have a remote unit which allows me to trigger the camera remotely, wirelessly, so I can avoid being in the picture as well as casting any shadows across the picture. And if I'm shooting indoors under artificial light, I will also use a color chart, which I'm sure you guys will recommend, and this will help the video as well. I will probably also have a second backup camera for shooting stills or something like that. And today I'm carrying around a Micro Four Thirds Panasonic, which I love as a small backup body. In the future, VR photography will actually come into its own. The term virtual reality was first coined by Yaron Lanier back in the late 1990s, I believe, but it never really came to fruition. However, with Facebook's recent acquisition of Oculus Rift, it seems that this promise will finally be fulfilled, and there's been a lot of excitement in our industry the last year over this. With 360-degree video especially, I expect to see higher penetration of panoramic photography, not just from Google Maps like we see nowadays, but for virtual telepresence using an Oculus Rift headset. You could have a simple camera like a Ricoh Theta, you know, in St. Croix, and you're sitting here in your apartment in New York City, put on the headsets. No, it's not like going to the Virgin Islands, but perhaps something like that. People will also be using these devices, I predict, for therapeutic uses, could be of use to medical situations. virtual travel, gamers, a lot. Hopefully as the headsets shrink down to something more manageable, like the size of a regular pair of glasses, you'll see more use of these rather than the, you know, shoebox strapped to your face look we have nowadays. Roundme is a very interesting platform for hosting virtual tours because it allows a fairly white label experience with, unlike other services, it allows you to connect tours, connect panoramas to each other within a tour and deliver a relatively white label unbranded experience which is easier to integrate with your clients' websites or your own websites. Looks very good to me.